Hello and welcome to this week's commentary, or at least a casual review, which is recorded December 10th, 2023, regarding my experience playing Asura's Wrath. And I'm making a point to point out the date because you see a Christmas tree in the background there. So, and this video is premiering on my YouTube channel in like the middle of March of 2024. Anyway, Asura's Wrath. Let's get right into the actual gameplay and controls first. And since I played this game on its easiest difficulty to get myself familiarized with all the controls and its style of gameplay, of which there's actually three different styles of gameplay. Needless to say, it's clearly a game that is easy to learn, but also going to be hard to master. As knowing how to read the opponent's dodging and getting in close to waylay and not only just minion enemies that appear throughout the course of the game in major like brawl devil may style like room clearing segments, but then you got like big over the top bosses that you have to deal with at various points in time. Matter of fact, it's the boss fights that actually makes this game real memorable, because you have different patterns and things that you can pick up and learn. Now, you're also, so all the combat, though, it's not, to an extent, it is not clearing out waves of enemies. It's actually building up a fury meter, to which you, once you do that, you hit right trigger, and it basically progresses to the next phase of either a boss fight in some cases, or also this progression out of just to the next chapter, or to progress the individual story, depending on the combat sequence that you're in, which is rather unique to a very large degree. So you can actually, in some instances, you can essentially farm and boost up your combat score and get a high ranking on that, but you also have to be very, very efficient. This is Asura's Wrath is a game where you are graded for your performance in each individual episode based on the time it took you to clear a battle sequence, as well as the your combat score, as well as the synchronized score, which is also doing all the QuickTime events. So and that, of course, we're talking about the QuickTime events, of which there are plenty. You cannot put down your controller at all, even if something seemed like they're totally obvious in regards to that. It's just a standard cutscene. In some of them, you actually would get a prompt to actually do something, either to interrupt someone from speaking by punching them in the face. Actually, that is the one big thing that ends up happening more often than not. But you can also move the camera around. You can zoom in and check out little details and stuff. So you can almost like Asura is like doesn't have interest in who is speaking to them. Story-wise, character-wise, Asura himself is kind of like is a single-minded character. He's a very angry character, but he's also very justified in all of his actions, because after you have this epic prologue, which of course is after a rail shooter intro. I forgot to talk about the rail shooters, but those are a lot of fun and need no explanation there. You quickly discovered that Asura was framed for a crime he did not commit. His wife was killed and his daughter was kidnapped to serve in a great cause to quote unquote save the world. Because you got a bunch of like other godlike beings, his Asura's cohorts, colleagues. They have, or at least one of them has a bit of self-righteousness as to what it would take to save the world, to eliminate an ongoing threat. With all that said, and with that understanding of it, Asura's journey becomes a very much an over-the-top adventure for a dad wanting to save his little girl. So it's like, okay, simple. You can relate to it on that. And again, with over-the-top action and combat and themes of that nature. And also, this game is also pretty funny at times, too. There are some great facial animations. There is a good amount of levity to a lot of things. So and it's a game that you can actually play in chunks, and to an extent, it almost encourages you playing it in chunks because you have each individual episode. It's just that it's an episode. Every segment opens up with the credits as if you were watching, say, Naruto or Dragon Ball or something of that nature. You get the credits popping up every time you begin a new chapter. You get a preview of the next chapter. You in the middle of each episode, you get like classic bumpers as if there will be TV commercials or something popping up. So to that extent, it's like it's pretty cool. So you can knock out like one chapter a day, and if you're playing this game on its hardest difficulty and wanting to work your way through it, each individual episode, and it might take you multiple attempts to get through each individual episode, it's perfect in that regard. It's like you again, I believe I mentioned it's a game easy to learn, hard to master, and I can definitely tell that. Again, even if I played it on its easiest difficulty, but even I was able to recognize that this game is a game that on even normal and hard, that there would be a considerable effort being needed to put into like fully being able to accomplish everything that is possible within the game, such as trying to get S ranks on every single episode that you that you play. Of course, there is the how can I put it, the elephant in the room, and that's the DLC. See, you get 18 episodes with the base game of Asura's Wrath. Episode 18, and technically 19. Let me rephrase that. Because episode 18, actually, you have like a standard version of it, and then you have the true version of it, where a major plot twist is revealed. And then you quickly learn that and if you did not already know at this point, that to actually finish the story, to finish the journey, to actually get the satisfying conclusion, you have to pay extra for it. Now, I have played many video games over the course of my lifetime. I can't think of one game, that, at least that was not being released episodically, where the final chapters, the actual conclusion, that you had to pay extra for. Now, I really wonder what the hell Capcom was thinking when it comes to that. But then again, Asura's Wrath was released at about the time Capcom was catching a lot of heat, because this came out around the same time as Street Fighter Cross Tekken, where you had the DLC debacle with that, where the characters were actually available on the disc, like the data was there, but you had to pay extra to quote unquote unlock them, even though the data is right there on the game disc. So I really wonder what the hell the case was with Asura's Wrath, as to you had to pay extra for it to actually finish the damn story and get the true get the major conclusion, to wrap everything up, and within like where every character's fate and destiny is reached. So again, it's like I'm not too thrilled with that, but again, you have to, again, for the completion of the story, you have to not again, I have to say, you have to get the DLC to actually have a satisfying ending, which is unfortunate. But again, this wasn't the only game that Capcom has released like that, at least around that same time, back around like 2010, 11, 12, 13, because they also called heat with what was it, Resident Evil 6, with the 801 campaign that they were looking to charge people for extra, and that then Capcom had to make free, because people discovered it was already on the disc. So, like, go figure there. Now, in terms of would I play this game again, and I can see myself playing it again and doing it on normal difficulty. There are achievements that I feel like after my initial playthrough that I could possibly do, which would of course mean like several attempts being made in some cases, but I feel like I could play the game on normal difficulty. But I kind of wish though that this game got a remastered or had an ultimate edition made. Even if just take the same visuals and stuff and just make all the DLC available at a modest price, which Capcom could easily do. That would be nice to see for those who have not played it. Also, I would touch on the other controversy regarding Asura's Wrath, regarding its use of Hinduism and Hinduism ideology, but I am not too knowledgeable about that to fully comment on it. Beyond just saying, everything can be open to interpretation and can be adjusted for any individual purpose. And I've certainly gotten a lot of giggles and and a lot of humor out of how many JRPGs, or at least RPGs that were developed by Japanese companies for originally for for the local audience in Japan, where that take the literal piss out of Christianity and Catholicism, and basically pointing out the overall hypocrisy in those religions. So I can just imagine with that in regard to Asura's Wrath as well. Look, it's like the controversy and stuff there. Any which way. So those will be all my thoughts and stuff here in this stream of consciousness rant. If you've played Asura's Wrath, leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. I would love to read them and see what other people thought of this game. Tighten your friendship bracelet, stay safe. I would say like and subscribe, but if I'm not doing that on other people's channels, matter of fact, again, I said it before. The only reason I say it is so that I don't get an email from YouTube's content creators assistance department saying it's like, hey, you should be saying this in your video at least once to boost your subscriber totals. It's like, look, it's like you either like it or you like and subscribe if you want to or not. That kind of is what it is there. Anyway, we'll see y'all in the next video, depending on whatever the hell that may be. See you next time. Bye.